Oh my God, what the hell is this? He's gonna try it! And will this be enough? My God,
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Ruckus Wrestling. I'm Josh Maber, alongside my tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. How are we doing today, sir?
Good. Staying cool. It's been unusually warm here in New York the last 2 days, but things will go back to normal. Little early preview of July summer in the last 2 days.
Yeah,
but I'm good.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, it pretty much goes from like cold to like, oh dang, it's hot in New York and stuff like that in the northern areas. But you know what else is hot? Wrestling. It's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of hot off the presses today during their Saudi Arabia press, Triple H dropped a really impressive nugget that we've kind of like, no duh, why have we been doing this for a while? That the winner of the King and Queen of the Ring will get a title shot at SummerSlam, which that's going to be our next topic. So keep that SummerSlam in mind of where that's going to be. But when's the last time this actually was a thing? This was basically just you're the next person up, type of tournament.
Yeah. It's been quite a while. There's only been a few other times that the winner of King of the Ring, because Queen of the Ring is still pretty relatively new. They only just started doing that for the women. But traditionally for the King of the Ring, most of the time it's just been about just the prestige of winning the tournament. But there have been occasions where the King of the Ring winner went on to become a title challenger. First example, ironically, is King Mabel when Mabel won King of the Ring in '95. He went on to challenge Diesel for the championship at during the summer, which was not good. Less said about 1995 WWF, WWE, the better.
Yeah.
One of the most awful years in wrestling history. Both companies were not good in 1995. Anyway, the only other time that it specifically was stipulated and was used was back in 2002 when Brock Lesnar burst onto the scene. He won King of the Ring. And by winning King of the Ring, he earned a title shot against The Rock for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. And of course, he went on to win it for his first WWE Championship.
Yeah,
because they were strapped. That's when they strapped The Rock at.
That was the infamous Stone Cold "I'm not showing up for work" King of the Ring. That one, but the only ones like a couple of times, obviously, there's like the King. They always do like the King Corbin. They put the really weird like Lord of the Rings style crown and cape on Sheamus, and then the King Booker run. That was really good. So sometimes they turn into it, but it's never been like coming out like this is kind of the plan moving forward, that whoever wins this tournament gets a title shot at the next big pay-per-view, basically their second WrestleMania, that is SummerSlam. So this puts a lot more stipulation in just storyline situation, because you're basically now. Did they actually say that they get a world title shot, like a heavy,
he specifically said that whoever the men and women's winners will get a championship title shot of their respective brands champions. So that means that if Gunther and Lyra are the winners from Raw, they would get shots against the World Heavyweight Champion and Women's World Heavyweight Champion, respectively. Or if the SmackDown winners, which have yet to be determined, which could be either Nia Jax, Bianca Belair, or Randy Orton, or Tama Tonga, they would, if any of those people from SmackDown won, they would get a championship either against WWE Champion Cody Rhodes or WWE Women's Champion Bayley at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Which kind of like, if you think about it, it kind of like as far as if you keep where the story is and where they think that they're going, at first you're like, oh, well then Gunther's taking it. But then again, Cody Rhodes in the Bloodline and The Rock, and it's SummerSlam. So would you not have put Tama in that spot? But Randy Orton versus Gunther would be a banger of a match. Either, I mean, he hasn't worked with either one of them. Obviously, Tommy just got there, but Randy and Gunther in Saudi, that's where that's where the sell is.
I did forget. There's one other person that won King of the Ring and then went on to challenge for the title SummerSlam. Owen Hart. Owen Hart won King of the Ring in '94, and that was part of, you know, it was building up to the feud with Bret that started earlier in the year. And he won King of the Ring, and then he challenged Bret at SummerSlam in that one of my favorite matches of all time. It's one of the best steel cage matches WWE's ever had. Is Bret versus Owen for the title at SummerSlam. It's like, you've never seen it, go check it out. It's one of the best cage matches.
But those two put on a banger of a match.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with this new stipulation coming on, who we have basically Gunther and Lyra. We already know they're in.
SmackDown is to be determined tomorrow night.
Right. So, and then we basically have Tama and Randy, and then in the
Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax.
Yeah, Nia Jax. So, does this kind of narrow down what you think is going to be SummerSlam title matches, or does it kind of leave it open as far as where? Because they kind of leave it open as far as like how the storyline went with Lyra's backstage.
Yeah.
And with that, so you had her get punched in the face. So it kind of leaves that open. So just in case she takes it over Becky, so that they at least can leave that as an option and not just totally be like, all right, let's pivot, or at least like that has some weight to it. Or, you know, if Randy wins, Gunther's winning, right? It just kind of, whereas if Tama wins, it leaves more of a storyline because of Cody.
Yeah, well, I think it kind of makes clear like who is most likely going to win tomorrow night in SmackDown. And I'm saying the two people I'm expecting to win the semifinals on the SmackDown side tomorrow night for King and Queen of the Ring are Randy and Nia Jax. Because babyface or heel versus heel matchups for King of the Ring final don't work. No. Tama Tonga versus Gunther, like, that's not going to have any kind of heat whatsoever.
No, it's not.
You put Gunther against Randy Orton, the fans will be all over that. Now, Bianca versus Lyra, babyface, yeah, maybe, but Bianca's been selling the knee injury, and the fact that they protected Nia by having her go over Jade, even though she didn't like pin or beat her, she beat Jade by disqualification. Makes no sense for her then to job to Bianca, especially with Bianca selling her knee not at 100%. And plus, then like who if you want Lyra to get the fans behind Lyra, putting her against Bianca Belair would be an absolute disaster mistake, because Bianca Belair is one of the most popular women's superstars on the roster. So, no, if you want to put Lyra, or whether she's going to win Queen of the Ring or not, you want to help her get over, especially as an underdog, you put her up against the monster Nia Jax.
And you've kind of been calling Nia this from the beginning.
So I think it's going to be, Randy and Nia are going to win tomorrow night. So we're most likely looking at Gunther versus Randy Orton for the King final, and Lyra Valkyria versus Nia Jax for the women's final, which makes the most sense. Now, who's going to win those matches? That's definitely up in the air, because it could go either way. I would be really shocked if Lyra Valkyria beat Nia Jax or Bianca Belair. It could happen. I'd be shocked that she gets that kind of push that fast. Also, we have to keep in mind, Rhea's injury, they said she was only going to be out for maybe like 3 to 4 months. So Rhea could be back by SummerSlam time.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, it's like, it'd be weird if like Lyra won and had the title shot, and then Rhea comes back. So then you got like, that would make it doing a triple threat. It's like, especially because Liv is eventually probably going to win the title, just because it makes sense storyline wise. You know, because that would perfectly set up like Liv versus Rhea at SummerSlam for the title if she's back by then.
Yeah.
So that it's like that would be kind of iffy. It's like I could see Gunther having that title shot in his pocket, and he challenges whoever's going to be world champion at that time. Could be Drew McIntyre or somebody else. Who knows? I mean, it's like who knows how long Priest is going to hold that title. I mean, it's like Drew's got the title shot, and that's going to be happening at Clash of the Castle. You know, it's like there's no that's locked, even though they haven't made it official yet. You know, that's where he's going to get the title shot that he's already been promised. So,
have you not seen the poster? It's literally Drew McIntyre. Of course, he's getting the title shot at Clash of the Castle.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. But you could totally see them doing, even though Randy's a face, just with the history, him versus Cody at SummerSlam, that could work just because of their history, the history between the two of them. And I totally could easily see Nia Jax coming after Bayley as Queen of the Ring. And also think about this. Nia becoming Queen Nia, and talking around how she's Queen of the Ring on SmackDown. Who do you think is going to object to that when they're finally get off the injury shelf?
Yep,
Charlotte.
Right.
She's gonna be instant feud right off the bat because she's gonna be like, "Okay, you're calling yourself Queen of the Ring? No,
right.
I'm the Queen of the Ring.
Right.
I'm the queen, not you."
And so, I think, and they've been, and Nia's been putting on solid matches. They're booking her well. Yep. To not like put her as like this biggest, immovable force type of thing, because it's very hard to really book monsters correctly.
Yeah.
And they're doing her very well. They finally gotten Braun back to a level where it's like, okay, he's still a threat, but he's also beatable, type of thing. So I just like the way they're booking Nia now, and give her the spot. Give her the spot and let's see what she does with it. With that. And speaking of getting the spot of SummerSlam, Minnesota, you finally got your spot. You didn't get WrestleMania, but you got the second best one. Two's not all, and you don't have to be first to be last. It's not first or last. Okay, getting SummerSlam is still pretty freaking cool. So it's you can't beat Vegas. I'm sorry, Minnesota, you can't beat Vegas.
No, this is a really smart move for a lot of reasons. Number one, Minnesota made it very clear. They said it that, we were trying to get WrestleMania and we lost out. And we're going to talk to WWE about maybe getting either WrestleMania another time or maybe another big tentpole event here in Minneapolis. Well, after WrestleMania, getting one of the other big four pay-per-views is a no-brainer. And having SummerSlam there is smart for two reasons. Number one, it's a dome, so even Minnesota may not be that warm during August. Doesn't matter with the dome. It's like, so people are going to show up. They don't have to worry about the weather. And number two, this is good for the city. Now, this is the interesting part: the fact that they announced that this is going to be a 2-night event, like they're doing with WrestleMania.
Yep.
This is huge.
Yes.
We can't say for sure this is going to be the norm for SummerSlam going forward. It could be part of just, we're going to give you a little bit more incentive. It's like, look, Minnesota, Minneapolis, we're sorry that, we went with Vegas over you for WrestleMania next year. But how about this? Not only we're going to have you host SummerSlam next year, but like WrestleMania, it's going to be a 2-night event, and it's like who's like, are they going to say no to that? No, that means more money.
And plus, like, might as well cash in while the iron's hot. Like, I mean, they are selling out every arena. It's basically like 1998, all like to 2000 all over again. Like, we're coming here, sold out arena, all that. So I'm like. No, it might as well.
SummerSlam in Cleveland has sold really well.
Yeah, so might as well do SummerSlam 2-night event and just keep rolling with it. So
now, my question is, JD from New York and other people that I follow would definitely raise this, and I agree. My concern is that I'm okay. All right, WrestleMania is one thing. Okay, doing it in SummerSlam is interesting. They could probably make it work if they got enough good matches and feuds for 2 nights to pull it off. I just don't think you should go for the 2-night format beyond Mania and SummerSlam, because the other 2 big pay-per-views like Rumble and Survivor Series do not need to be 2 nights at all.
No, they do not.
It's like I hope this it's just, if it stays just Mania and SummerSlam, then I'm okay with that. Trying to make it, some of the other major pay-per-views like a 2-night event, it's like, nah, bro, I don't like that idea.
No, because it's most of them are, because Mania and SummerSlam aren't based around a stipulation.
Yeah.
And typically most of these pay-per-views are based around either a location or a stipulation. But WrestleMania and SummerSlam are always just WrestleMania, SummerSlam. That's the sell, not the stipulation match.
Exactly, because right now the Rumble is the Rumble for both men and women, and they've turned Survivor Series into War Games.
Right, and then you've got Money in the Bank, around the ladder matches.
Yeah.
You've got Elimination Chamber, around Elimination Chamber, even though the most memorable Elimination Chamber basically was Sammy versus Roman, but that's beside the point.
Right.
That was just a really great build. Which, shout out to Wrestle Talk. They did a really cool coverage of the Roman Reigns title reign. Good shout out to them. I don't know if
it's a 2-hour video, but check it out. I've watched a good portion of it.
It's so well made and just so well done.
It covers how the Tribal Chief storyline started all the way to WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, and they
showing the evolution of the storyline. It's fantastic stuff.
Yes, and they even were like, yeah, this was terrible. This was terrible booking. Blah 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 blah. Like, let's skip that part. Like, they do very well with it.
Yeah.
So shout out to Wrestle Talk for that when we're bringing up Sammy in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I think 2 nights could work. Well, we shall find out. It's like, it works for Mania because Mania is like, so much stuff. It's like that allows them to really make sure that all the titles are defended and all the major feuds are taken care of. Now SummerSlam is usually considered like the number 2 major like pay-per-view event, because like Rumble is special, it's unique, and but like they've always treated SummerSlam as kind of like number 2 behind Mania in importance of, especially card wise, because so many major title matches and storylines and events have happened at SummerSlam since its inception. I mean, first SummerSlam had Mega Powers taking on the Mega Bucks, Andre the Giant, and DiBiase. Then the following year you had that year also Honky Tonk Man's then historic record reign as Intercontinental Champion was destroyed by Ultimate Warrior, which was the start of his ascent to the top. You've had SummerSlam 92 in Wembley, Bulldog versus Brett. SummerSlam 94 had the ladder rematch between Shawn and Razor. 96 was memorable, and then it's like SummerSlam has had a lot of major memorable moments. So it's always had considered very highly as far as like
it's always been
rank all the pay-per-views after Mania. It's
their number 2.
Yeah,
it was basically when they first started doing like consistent pay-per-views. Obviously, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam. What was the 4th one? Because it was like the big 4 at one point, and then they just started doing a bunch.
Well, you're missing. You mentioned
Royal Rumble. Sorry, Royal Rumble. So, but it was like kind of those 4 that they had always especially in the 90s. It's kind of was like the big 4.
Well, those were the 4 until you got into the 90s and they started doing
like In Your House and all that stuff.
Yeah, In Your House was the beginning of the monthly pay-per-view formula that has become part of wrestling ever since.
Right. I mean, the other as far as like the most memorable promo for SummerSlam was definitely the one where Brock Lesnar F5 the Great White Shark in the ocean.
Yeah,
that's definitely my favorite. That's just like what sticks out. I was just like, I remember that because like, I was like, did he just F5 a shark?
Yep, he did.
They didn't jump the shark; they F5'd it. So speaking about other locations, we literally just kind of talked about this last week, but it's announced this week that WWE for the first time in 5 years is returning to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just doing about 3 dates.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a pay-per-view or anything like that.
No, these are like
house shows.
These are house shows, but in Japan.
Right.
They're going on tour, like how they're doing the European tour. It's like they're finally doing a tour of Japan, which they haven't done in a while.
Right.
So it's a big deal.
Yeah, and you're definitely going to get a lot of vignettes with Damage Control over there, Nakamura. Like it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, no, it's like both. It'll be interesting. It's like they're definitely going to want Asuka, Kairi Sane, Io, and Nakamura to be there, to work there. Going back home. Absolutely. So yeah, it's really cool. It'll be really interesting. And also there's rumors that certain Japanese promotions want to do more work with WWE, and not just there's rumors that there's feelers about trying to see maybe they have a better more of a working relationship with New Japan. Got Stardom. Former guy who ran Stardom, Asagawa, just started his new promotion. So might see some of that, especially since Julia is working that a bit there before she's going to be coming over to WWE. Although unfortunately she got hurt at their debut show.
I was getting ready to say, I was like, is she hurt?
Yeah, no, she's legit hurt. So it's like, but they expect that she's going to be good. The word is that even they're expecting that she's going to be good come July, because the rumors are that they want to bring Julie in to challenge Roxanne by like NXT Heatwave, which is in July.
Okay. All right.
Now, what it's like, it depending, it's like that's been the plan. It's like unless the injury takes longer for her to heal, they may have to make adjustments, but they definitely want Julia versus Roxanne to happen when she comes to NXT, which
she can come after Roxanne. You know what the state is.
It's
like, I'm sorry, Julia. I can't wait to see you lose to Roxanne. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so great. You heal up so you can lose to my girl. That's all it is. That's what's gonna happen. No, she's awesome.
Well, no, that Roxanne versus Julia is.
I want to see that so bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, if after checking out some of Julia's stuff on YouTube, that match is going to be a banger.
She was ranked the 2023 second best female
behind Rhea.
Behind Rhea. And we were like, who is that again? And then we looked her up. We're like,
he was number 2 in the PWI top 250 wins wrestlers in the world.
Yes.
Behind Rhea.
You're like, okay, who is this? And you watch her, you're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
She's got the skill set. She's got a presence. She can speak some English, but the word is that she's working on improving her English. But they're not too worried about that because look how well Io, Kairi, and Asuka have done.
Right.
Asuka and Kairi are pretty good. It's like they all three of them can. Even Nakamura have good English, but they also let them speak in their native tongue with subtitles. For certain promos, which I think is a cool thing. It's like,
and I like how, like, as far as the Japanese wrestling style and culture, I like how what they're actually doing that with Damage Control, because they would come out at the start as a group, but then they let the actual like person who's in the match do their thing, and they don't like just come down the ringside with that threat of doing that. That's a lot of the New Japan style, because there's so many stables. So a lot of times they'll come out with their stable mates, they give them like a fist bump, and then they go do their thing. Or just don't even come out with them at all. But that's very much a New Japan. That's like the first time that I was like, wow, why are they not coming back down to the ring to them? And that was like the first time that I ever saw that. Was definitely watching some NJPW Stardom stuff.
Yeah.
And All Japan. Right? All Japan, I get that right?
Yeah. I think so.
So with that, and then speaking about other countries, TKO is basically, other than just putting ink to paper, are expanding their deal with Saudi Arabia. I know they had the Prince or something on one of the WWE online shows, and he was wanting them to have WrestleMania there. I don't know if that's part of the deal, but Saudi money is Saudi money.
You never know.
And if they have WrestleMania there, man, it's really going to stink to see CM Punk not on it, because he said some things about Saudi Arabia way back in the day.
I think London is more likely because the time difference in Saudi is pretty significant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit more than like when you're in England or in France. So we'll see. You never say never. Money talks. But I think if WrestleMania is finally going to leave the United States again for the first time since it's been to in Toronto, Canada, twice. I think London is more likely before Saudi.
I mean, we've been saying ever since they put 80,000 in the thing for AEW, they've been licking their chops.
And also John Cena at Money in the Bank in London last year, asking, hey, you guys are loud enough. Maybe you might see WrestleMania come here sometime in the future. It's like they wouldn't do that if they weren't thinking about it.
No, and anything you can do, I can do better. Type of back and forth.
And the guy who just got elected mayor of London has made it clear that he wants to get WrestleMania there.
Yeah, so it's going to be very. But London's crowds versus Saudi's money.
Yeah,
who knows? With that, and then a couple other things we talked on. But the last thing, just kind of breaking news before we actually just kind of went on here. MJF, he's still all elite, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
According to Sean Ross Sapp. So just kind of tell me, you kind of broke this, came to my attention, and I know you were looking up. You read what our boy Sean Ross Sapp, and again, they always say don't believe the internet. When Sean Ross Sapp drops something, 98% of the time he's right because he doesn't just drop news like this without making sure it's true. So, kind of fill us in on what exactly is the plan.
Well, the full full info is for their subscribers on the paywall. But what he revealed on Twitter is that sources have told Frightful, sources in the AEW, that most of the locker room thinks that MJF is going to be back pretty soon. The word is that he got an extension or some kind of new deal at some point by sometime after Double or Nothing in 2022, which, if you remember, that was the infamous thing where he blew off remember that year when he blew off the meet and greet, rather infamously.
Mm-hmm.
And then, did the job to Wardlow later that, and then he was gone for a while and didn't return until he won the title shot. It's like, and they made a big deal that there was issues going on between Tony and MJF, which is partially true. It's like he was trying to look for big money deal, so that he's got a new deal in place, or his contract was extended, whatever, we're not sure which. But that he's getting that it's for good money, and that if he's going to be back soon, that's probably going to be most likely by Forbidden Door. So,
So the only way, because of what money they paid Mercedes and what money they paid Okada, if you don't think MJF is worth more than that, then I don't know what to tell you at this point. Because MJF carried that company for as long as he possibly could before his body just basically broke on him. And he puts butts in seats, ladies and gentlemen. What else can I say?
Yeah. So if he's coming back soon, that hopefully means that either the surgery worked and he's got a short recovery time, or he was able to recover from the injury without needing surgery. So
gotcha.
We shall find out.
Yeah, we should find out.
They need him back. They need him back badly.
They need him. They need Kenny. I mean, JR came out. JR get well soon. He's in the hospital right now. He was there with the shortness of breath. That's what his Twitter account put out. Then they showed a picture of him in the hospital with his two daughters. He's up. But I'm pretty sure they're just running tests to figure out what they need to do. JR, beat whatever it is. Beat it, man. Get well soon.
Easy,
on
JR.
that.
I love you.
And then he also was saying that they just lack creating new stars, and it's tough to do in this business in the way that Tony books. And as kind of said last, I think it was Bully Ray that came out and said Tony Khan's a really good matchmaker. He's not that best of a booker.
No.
And we've said that at the beginning. Like, he loves making his indie cards and not an actual wrestling show. There's a difference in that. And they're getting there, like I said,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, it's very much of a baby step. Then we know what we're doing from the start. And it's not like he's surrounding himself with people who don't know what the hell they're doing. And he doesn't have wrestlers who are signed
He just needs to let other people have a little bit more control over the booking than he does. It's like
right. Now you can't do the Hulk Hogan. You have 100% of control.
Thankfully, wrestlers do not have that. It's like he's got, because he has the final say.
Yes,
so it's
he
like
has the final say. He's not in the contract where
he will listen to wrestler suggestions, but he has the final call.
Yeah, so you don't end up with a Starrcade 97 situation.
No,
that still hurts. So anyway, nope, I can't segue. It's time for SmackDown. I have nothing. I can't. I was like coming up with a segue and I couldn't do it. So, all right, guys, here's SmackDown. That's it for the news.
Okay, here we go. Here's a recap of what happened on last week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Open with a Queen of the Ring quarterfinals match between Bianca Belair and Tiffany Stratton. Good stuff between the ladies, but it was not Tiffy time this week as Bianca defeated Tiffany with the KOD, selling that her knee is not 100% going into the semifinals match against the winner of Jade Cargill and Nia Jax later in the show. Nia gave an ear in the back, got the promo about King of the Ring. We got more stuff with the Bloodline. Tama Tonga is walking back and forth, making some weird gremlin sounds. Don't know what was over that. Heyman asked if Solo has talked to Roman. He says that he talks to him all the time. Right. LA Knight and Carmelo Hayes got into it in the back, cutting promos. Then we had King of the Ring quarterfinals match. LA Knight taking on Tama Tonga of the Bloodline. Thanks to a distraction from the Bloodline, Tama Tonga was able to pick up the victory with a jumping reverse STO. LA Knight was talking to the referee about what happened, and him and Carmelo Hayes got more into it. And then we had the contract signing between Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul for their match at King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi. It was a pretty long segment, but the gist of it is that Logan Paul pulled some shenanigans because he was not going to put his U.S. title on the line against Cody because he didn't think Cody deserved it. And so the title match would be only for the WWE Championship. It's the only title on the line in this match. Logan tried to do a cheap attack on Cody, and Cody, of course, took care of him. And he was powerbomb one of Logan's guys through the table. Then the segment. Then we had Jade Cargill taking on Nia Jax in the Queen of the Ring quarterfinals. Nia Jax badmouthed Jade Cargill's daughter at ringside, which ticked Jade off enough so that when Nia went to use a steel chair on her, Jade took it and used it on Nia instead, and the referee disqualified Jade Cargill, giving Nia Jax the win. And she will face Bianca Belair this week on SmackDown to see who goes to the Queen of the Ring's finals. They made a tag team action, DIY taking on the Legado Fantasma. DIY picking up the victory. AJ Styles got an interesting promo where he said that he's got a doctor's appointment next week, and he's not sure about his future with SmackDown, but he's going to talk to Adam Pearce about it. Bayley was interviewed and got interrupted by Piper Niven and Chelsea Green again. Chelsea Green giving her more crap. Sounds like we're building toward a match between those two, I guess. And then our main event, Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes for King of the Ring quarterfinals. Not a super long match, but some good stuff, of course, between the two. No surprise, Randy Orton hit an RKO out of nowhere when Melo tried to springboard off the ropes to pick up the victory. Bloodline came out afterwards, and Randy Orton cut an impassioned promo, promising to take Tama Tonga out and go to the finals next week. So that's all that happened on last week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown.
So the first thing I'm going to say, it's a good thing Carmelo Hayes is a good wrestler because LA Knight cooked him so bad.
It was
bad. It was bad with the. I see that with nobody saying. I was like, oh God, oh no.
I love Melo a lot, but yeah, no, LA Knight just fucking smoked him in that.
I was like, oh, because I thought he was going to do the HIM, and then even like Kathy Kelly was like, oh, he's still going. It's like, okay, because even her on the face, she thought like, all right, she had that like, all right, in the next segment, like, oh boy, what's gonna happen? And then she goes, oh, that's real funny, huh? With nobody, you got your little, that's a good, he can spell, yay, he can spell, with nobody saying, you see that? Now here's how it's done. And he did and I was like, and he goes, now walk away because I'm busy. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
Mello.
no, LA Knight fucking put Mello in his fucking place, dude. It's like, damn.
Oh, Mello. Oh, poor Mello.
That future feud, give it to me.
Yeah, it was that. And then how they blew, and they kind of went back and forth. And I was like, all right, yeah, this is all right, Mello, step up because he won round one. Like as far as that,
I forgot. Speaking of LA Knight, they finally gave the first tease of LA Knight versus Logan Paul.
Yes, I know. We talked about that. Yes.
This has been us and a lot of people have been talking about. It makes so much sense for LA Knight to be the one to dethrone Logan Paul, take the US title off him, and they finally did the first tease of that by having them have a little stare down and him going, "See you, champ."
Yeah, I was like, yes, the little subtlety. That's all we need. Just do that. And unlike Vince McMahon, we'll have that tease and then nothing will happen about it because he'll change his mind 17 times.
Triple H doesn't do teases that lead nowhere.
No. And like him and Mello was really good.
I wish it was longer. It's like Orton and Mello should have had more time. Unfortunately,
yeah, but that freaking dude, when he hits those RKO's like those type, it's just so fun. They're so fun. But yes, I wish I would have given him a little bit longer. Tama Tonga acting like the brother from the Wild Hill Wild Thornberry bellies.
That like just went wildfire all over social media. Everyone's like, "What the fuck is this?
What was that?" He's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't care if you can't talk well on the mic. Just what was that? But it's a good thing that you're awesome. So whatever.
Have you talked to Travis? Talk to him all the time, wise man. Bullshit. Sorry.
That's like right now. That's kind of like back and forth. We still are enjoying this run of the bloodline, the new blood, all that. And once they insert Jacob Fatu, I think it's really going to take off.
It's really going to take off once Jacob Fatu finally shows up.
Yeah. So, and I think they're probably, like we were saying, tomorrow they're probably going to, because he gave that impassioned promo. That's what I'm thinking. Like, it's such a short match just so Randy can push the promo, but the bloodline stuff forward. So when they screw him over next week.
Because look, this whole thing about it. And we were talking about this in relation to, Triple H.
Randy's going to win, but it's going to be a whole lot of.
Watch it. It's like the bloodline are going to try to pull shenanigans, but Kevin Owens is going to make his return and help make sure Randy wins. Yeah. So in that way, that pisses off the bloodline, and and so now Solo and them are going to be really want to wreck both Orton and Kevin Owens because Tama they're doing everything they can to try to get Tama into the finals, and it's like, and then it's gonna be like, nah, brah.
Right. And then Jade, you're not in AEW anymore. You just can't randomly use chairs. I'm sorry, I can't help you on that. But that's the right way to do it, especially like because. Nia swung. Now Nia's missed and actually like grazed her. I think she actually actually drew a little bit of blood with that like missed chair shot. Yeah. And I think Jade was supposed to like I don't know. It was just a really kind of a botchy spot.
But it served its purpose because we talked about this like okay, Nia versus Jade. What are they going to do? How are they going to get out of this problem? Because neither one of them should be taking a job at this point. And so I thought, double disqualification, Becky, whoever wins between Becky Tippett goes right into the finals. Well, they didn't do that. Instead, they had Nia outsmart Jade and basically trick her into getting her so mad that she used the chair and got herself disqualified. So Nia wins, and Jade does not take a pinfall or submission loss.
Yeah,
problem solved.
And going into the right decision on not having the U.S. and might be a title stuff. So number one, good job, good job, WWE.
Thank God they and also kudos that Logan they wrote it into this as part of the story, and Logan was like, "I'm not putting my title on against Cody. He doesn't deserve to try to win my title. Right. I'm going to be taking the WWE title from him."
Right. It's also announced today that 200 days that Logan's had the title. I didn't realize it's already been that long. On that. But also too, a couple of things that I've noticed, especially with Raw and SmackDown, they've been doing this one for a while as far as production of like showing them kind of walk in like NBA, like they show NBA players and NFL players come to the game. I thought that's a really nice touch. Yeah. And then they also had that like we'll get into Raw with a couple people coming out of the same SUV. We'll get into that part. But like I like how they're doing that. And then with the contract signing, did you notice it was kind of like one of those heavyweight fights where like the commissioner is in the middle and they had two tables. So they were on different. That was the first time I remember seeing that in WWE, but it's much more of like a big fight thing.
Yeah.
On that rather than them being face to face and doing. My favorite one ever is when Dean Ambrose is like, "Why are we talking? We know why we're here," and he just moves the table out of the way. It's like we all know how it's gonna end, and he just moves it out of the way. But I thought this was a fun segment. Logan's still a good talker, and Cody. Yep. Hey guys, Cody don't have to be like Dusty, blah 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 blah. Title, blah 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 blah. Finish the story, blah 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 blah. You know, this was a really good. I mean, Cody.
No, it sucks that LA Knight had to lose to Tama Tonga, but it wasn't clean. It was bloodline shenanigans. Yep. But good things are. It's like, look, he's still. It's very clear he's still very mega over. Mm-hmm. It's like it's like you can hear that you get like when they show him backstage, you can hear the fans in the arena going, yeah.
We're very we like one word to shout. Okay, yes, yeah, no, yeet. Like you give us a one word, one syllable, we're all over it.
So yeah, when I saw that he had the stare down with Logan Paul and was like, "See you, champ," I was like, "Yes, it's gonna happen."
Yeah,
but it's probably gonna happen by SummerSlam, most likely. I would think.
Any comments on the other couple matches that we had as far as?
No. Not surprised that Bianca went over Tiffany. It was not because of her social media kerfluffle. That reports made that clear. It just makes sense that with. I was like, well, Nia has to. It's like either she goes right to the finals or Nia's somehow getting past Jade, and you have her throw Bianca at her.
I mean, but Lyra's in the final.
Yeah, I know. It's
That's kind of where I'm sitting there. I'm like, wow, we can't do face versus face, but you can do Tiffy versus Lyra.
Yeah, look, I'm all about Tiffy time, but she doesn't need the Queen of the Ring. Like, yes, she could have maybe won it, but there's still other opportunities for her to get in the top picture, especially with Money in the Bank in Toronto right around the corner.
Gotcha. No, she's definitely has a lot more momentum than Lyra does, and so Lyra needed this momentum as far as like
she's way ahead of Lyra in that she's really over right now with the fans.
Yeah, but Lyra's putting. We'll get into her match.
We'll talk about that Raw about Lyra. It's like it's like, but Tiffany's got the edge because she's got the character and personality, and that the fans are the fans are all into it. So it's like
Question for you, and it's been kind of saw for some reason an ad. The algorithm is telling me where's Pretty Deadly.
I don't know. We haven't seen him on TV since the draft, so I don't know.
I don't know what they're doing with that, but whatever.
DIY winning is always a plus. It's because look, they better be winning the tag titles by SummerSlam, or Triple H. We're gonna have words, man.
Yeah, someone said the reason Pretty Deadly's not on TV is because their doppelganger, known as A-Town Down Under, is. I was like, all right, that's the best comment is why they're gone, because they're basically the same tag team.
Give DIY some wins, build it up to eventually them getting the title shot at SummerSlam. Because give Johnny Wrestling that big win in his hometown. It's like don't deprive of that, Triple H, please.
I'm not gonna toot our own horn or anything because I'm pretty sure there's other wrestling shows that have had it. But who was the first time we were like, what should they do with Austin Theory? And we said, put him with Morgan.
They work really good together, and so
I was like, oh wow,
they're the tag team champions. It's like they're good at getting the heat. So
yeah, they're good at getting the heat. They're super entertaining, and they're good at what they do, and they work really well together. So. Yeah. Who knew? That's what I'm saying. I'm probably the only one, but I'm going to say it because I haven't heard it. Didn't hear that prediction way back when.
Yeah.
When we were trying to figure that out. So.
What do you think's going on with AJ? It's like AJ stuff. What do you think's going on there? Basically, he's going to talk to Adam Pearce.
Well, AJ just came off the first 5-star match he ever had, then puts on another bang with Randy Orton, still loses.
Yep.
But he still because has the momentum of that 5-star match, and people still love him. He still shows that he still got it. So they're not going to have him like go and help the Good Brothers against Axiom and all that.
Yeah, no, it's
he's not going to do that. So, I mean, he's going to go talk to Adam Pearce. I don't know what I think he's kind of rudderless right now.
Yeah, they got to find something for him, and hopefully fast, because the feud with LA Knight's over. I think if they weren't doing the show in Saudi, he would probably getting another match against Cody, because the only reason Logan Paul versus Cody's happening at Saudi is because
Saudi wants
they probably wanted it, and they want Logan Paul gets people's attention. So
yeah, I guess, but yeah, that's a good question. I think he's he's rudderless right now, because I'm just sitting here trying to scramble on like, what would he do on Raw? Go after Sammy? Sammy's pretty much set. Do another tag team. You just came off a world title shot and showing that you're main event still, so you're not going to do tag titles.
Yeah,
and there's no, and you're trying to build like a legit tag division and not have your super like a main event guy go with an up and comer. Like, you're not going to do that. So he's kind of rudderless right now, but trust in Triple H, because he's been doing it. He's been doing well so far.
We'll see. It's like, but it definitely needs something. Hopefully we'll get an idea after he has this meeting with Adam Pearce.
I wish I was good enough at production.
You call this. Yeah. I keep getting confused. Yeah. He used to be the GM from Smackdown.
Yeah. No, but I wish I had like a good production being like, should AJ Styles still main event something? And then just put Tom and Tom like, yeah. Still don't understand that, dude. What the hell was that? Anyway, I still love it. I do that entrance music. I love that entrance music and that production and stuff like that. So they're presenting Tama really well. All right. Well, that's it for Friday Night SmackDown. Fun show. Definitely better than the week before. And LA Knight. Welcome back, man.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again being that dude.
He was all over this episode, which
is
good.
Yes. So I know how people were like, where's LA Knight? I'm like, patient.
Because he is the number 2 babyface on the show behind Cody.
Yes, he is. So, all right. Well, let's move on to Monday Night Raw.
All right. Here's what happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. We opened up with a promo from Sami Zayn against Chad Gable and Bronson Reed ahead of the Intercontinental title triple threat match at Queen of the Ring on Saturday. Chad Gable came out to rebut, ran down Alpha Academy again, especially Otis. It led to a one-on-one match, non-title, between Chad Gable and Sami Zayn. Despite berration and a slap from Chad Gable, Otis cheap-shotted Sami Zayn behind the rust back, letting Gable take advantage and pick up the victory ahead of the title match of the pay-per-view. Then we had a promo for Io Sky against Lara Valkyria for their Queen of the Ring semifinal match later in the show. Then we had a very interesting little beginning with Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker came out take on local Hansford talent Kale Dixon, and he murderized poor Kale, spearing the crap out of him to the point where the referee stopped the match. And but Braun wasn't done. He went to try to destroy him with the steel steps. Pearson, producers and the referees tried to stop him. We ended up blasting him in the back of a steel chair with his head on top of the steel steps, leading to him getting stretched out in an ambulance. Adam Pearce, not happy. He went and confronted Braun about it and said, well, this is on him for not putting him in the King of the Ring tournament. Becky Lynch gave Lara Valkyria pep talk in Gorilla before she went out to face Io Sky. And so we had Io Sky taking on Lara Valkyria, Queen of the Ring semifinals. I thought it was a good match between the two, although the crowd wasn't into it too much until near the end. It's a very weird crowd, this whole show. More on that later. But Lara Valkyria pulling off the upset, dodged the moonsault, and then reversed a pinfall attempt and rolled up Io to pick up the victory, and will face either Nia Jax or Bianca Belair in the finals at the pay-per-view. Ilya Dragunov was being backstage with Caleb Braxton. When Ricochet came up to talk to Ilya, talk about another rematch between the two of them, when all of a sudden out of nowhere, Braun Breaker speared the hell out of Ricochet over into a bunch of equipment, laying him out. There's also a comedy segment with R-Truth talking about Andre the Giant. It is funny. That's all that needs to be said. As Ricochet was being tended to, both Ilya Dragunov and Adam Pearce were not happy about the whole situation. We got a pre-recorded promo from Gunther in the empty arena from earlier today ahead of his match against Jey Uso for King of the Ring semifinals. Judgment Day segment in the back with Carlito came up later. Before that, we found out that Carlito was the one who attacked Cruz del Toro earlier in the show, laying him out as trying to get revenge on LWO. Then we had Awesome Truth defending the tag team titles against Judgment Day. Despite attempted interference from Carlito, didn't work out because Braun Strowman came out to even the odds and back up Awesome Truth. And Awesome Truth picked up the victory with R-Truth hitting JD with the attitude adjustment. Becky Lynch congratulated Lyra on a win. And then Lyra ran into Liv Morgan, who bat-mouthed her and then punched her in the face. Then we had Big Brasserie confronting Sami Zayn about threatening him ahead of the title match. Otis came in to apologize to Sami for helping Chad cheat to win earlier. Sami appreciates it, but he tries to reason with Otis that he needs to get away from Chad, even though he's his friend, because he's leading down the wrong path, and he needs to start listening to fans and not Chad Gable. Becky Lynch came out to cut a promo on Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan came out to interrupt. Words were exchanged. Becky wanted to fight, but Liv only teased it and backed off, playing full heel. Not much there. Damian Priest confronted Judgment Day about them losing the title match, and then stormed out, and Finn Balor told that Priest is right because that doesn't recognize Judgment Day anymore, and that they need to step up, and that JD needs to get it together. Then we had a 4-team number one contender match. Winner would get a title shot against the women's tag team champions Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. We had Damage Control represented by Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane, Ivy Nile, Maxine Dupree, John Chance and Kaden Carter, and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Shayna and Zoe came out the victors and have the title shot. Louis Kaiser did some more bad mouthing of Sheamus in an interview backstage. Drew McIntyre then also cut a promo promising that he's going to take out the paper champion Damian Priest when he gets cleared and gets his title shot. Then we had Chad Gable talking to Otis. Otis said that he apologized to Sami. First, Chad was upset, but then thought that Otis is playing mind games with him and improved. Jey Uso cut a promo before heading out to the ring. So our main event was Jey Uso taking on Gunther for the King of the Ring semifinals. Really good stuff between the two. Gunther worked on the arm throughout the entire match. Looked like Jey hit the splash, but couldn't cover in time, letting Gunther kick out. And then finally, Gunther slapped on a chokehold onto him, wrapped his legs around him, and they passed out. And the referee called the match. And so Gunther goes on to the King of the Ring finals and will face the winner of Randy Orton, Tama Tonga from SmackDown. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw.
When's the Howdy 6 gonna debut? I'll get to Raw, but that just popped in my head because I'm going through and I'm like, okay, they don't know what to do with their AJ, and they're about to bring in a whole 6-person faction. So what are you gonna do? In that regard. But as far as this show, when's the last time Gunther had a bad match?
I don't remember.
When Vince was there and didn't know what the hell he was doing with him?
I don't know.
I think Baron Corbin was the last one to freaking pin him or something like that. It was ridiculous. It's so weird that Liv and Becky have zero chemistry.
Yeah, that was just, oh my God. Look,
I like them both, but they don't work.
I like Liv as a wrestler, but her promo work lately has been god awful. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, look, I'm a Becky fan, but I'll admit sometimes Becky can cut a okay promo. Just Liv wasn't getting through work in it. That was just that whole segment just didn't work, and it's like Liv, man. Ugh, you got. It's like she's. I think maybe you need to go back to promo class because like it's like what you don't sound believable.
And she's cut some good promos. That's the thing.
In the past, yeah,
we've heard her do it, and I'm just like, I don't know
what's going on with her right
Becky.
Now. She's not good on the mic right now.
She's when her and Rhea like face off and like have their back and forth. It's really good. Like I'm buying that. I think it's just sometimes her and Becky just do not work. Their two styles of promo work, at least, do not work.
Yeah, it was just
because it's not like because both of these women are Liv has been
and
solid.
It's very likely Liv will beat Becky for the title.
Yeah, because right now they just put the belt on Becky. They still have to negotiate her contract. Well, they still haven't said anything about that.
I think she's going to resign. It's like they waited till the wire to work out stuff with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. So it's like I'm not concerned.
Yeah. Has anyone still figured out why JD confronted Braun last week that led to this?
Because he's an idiot.
Okay. It's like, because remember I asked you that last week. I'm like, hold on, did I miss something? Like, why did JD say stay out of Judgment Day business?
Well, it's because he previously stuck their nose in it, and he was told to like go take care of it. And last week him mouthing off at Braun was him trying to take care of it, which is not a good idea because look what happened this week.
Okay, now speaking of Braun, this is kind of what I wanted to get to. Not Braun, the other Braun, the one that breaks
Braun
people.
Breaker.
Braun Breaker. Oh my God. This was fun. This was Braun Breaker. This was so fun. This whole show was kind of like how LA Knight at SmackDown. This was Braun Breaker's show.
No, this was him sending a message, and I love it because it's building off of what's been going on. Adam Pearce didn't put him in King of the Ring. He wasn't happy about it, and now he's taking his frustrations out on the entire Raw roster. It's like he murderized that poor jobber.
Right.
It sent him to the hospital. And then he spears the fuck out of Ricochet, leaves him in a heap, and Adam Pearce is like, oh God, what am I going to do with this guy?
Right, and he did the exact same thing. He's like, "What's your problem?" He goes, "You did this. You kept me out everywhere, so now I'm just going to take everyone out." And I'm just like, "All right, now get some more catchy music."
What's Adam Pearce going to do?
Right, and get some more catchy theme music, and then we'll be there because your theme music is very generic.
But and he's already over. You're the fans reaction. That running spear, it's like, dear God, man. It's like he speared the soul out of that poor boy's body with that spear on the outside.
Right,
like,
right. I do have to say, as far as Raw, as far as what we're talking about, AJ, thanks, Jason. Happy belated birthday. He said make him world heavyweight champion. The only thing I would say, yes, I think he should be he should have another run at a main event title, at a top title. The only thing is aren't you trying to build like more stars and not have Jay or not have just have AJ go over here and then win it? Like, aren't you? That's the only thing. Now I can see it where it can happen. It's AJ. Like, it's freaking AJ Styles. But but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's.
But I like how Jason is thinking.
But I like your thought process because the way when you said that, and I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, okay, so if it goes here. All right, so then Jey Uso versus AJ Styles. Okay, that could do some stuff. And then you have Gunther and AJ. Okay, give me that yesterday. There's matches that are there, but of those three guys, you would think Jay and Gunther would get the strap before AJ at this point. So that's why I'm like, he could go to Raw, but you're kind of running into the Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, LA Knight. You've still got 3 or 4 guys, and at the end of the day, AJ's still playing the third fiddle.
Yeah.
That's the only thing where I'm just like, where they're booking it.
But anyway, back to this whole thing with Braun. I'm a pump for it. I can't wait to see where this is going to go. What Pierce is going to do to try to rein Braun in, because he's on a warpath right now because he wasn't in the King of the Ring tournament.
No,
so
he was not. So let me see.
We'll probably that spear will probably, like Ricochet, will probably want to match with him, and that match will kick ass. And that could lead to Ilya versus Braun down the line too, because Ilya was right there and he wasn't too happy about Ricochet getting laid out by Braun either. He was all he was like he had that look. I've seen that look on Ilya before, where it's like he wants to wreck something.
Right. Exactly. And we're gonna.
Well, you know what? This is not a bad idea. I could totally see this happening, because eventually Jay has to move back over to SmackDown where the bloodline is, because when his brother comes back for vengeance for getting laid out, it's like, because this is obviously building toward Roman and the Usos reconciling to take on the New Bloodline.
Right. New Blood. No one's ever used that faction name. It's the New Blood. Totally, it's going to catch on. WCW never used that.
Yeah.
It's New Blood.
So it's like I could totally see that happening at some point. Yeah.
So yes. Yeah, that was the one thing.
Eventually that's going to happen. Eventually Jay is going to find his way back to SmackDown.
You realize, as far as the Wolfpack NWO level,
exactly.
I get that, but the New Blood, I said that, and even because it's so forgettable yet infamously bad, that I've said that the first time I was like, we should call it the New Blood, like facetiously, and Justin was like, I don't know, maybe. I was like, Justin, right here, and you're like, oh yeah, don't do that. And there's still people on the internet being like, oh, the New Blood, yeah, it's the New Blood. I'm like, God,
no,
we're not gonna do that.
Let's not remember like when WCW was going down the toilet. It's like,
yeah, remember that Billy Kidman, really good promo work against Hulk Hogan. They made him like the head of New Blood. Oh, I know you want to try and push stars, but if it don't, you stop. Anyway, we're talking about Raw.
All right, let's. All right, let's talk about before we get to the King and Queen of the rematches. I like the little promo from Drew. Make sure he's on television. That was fine.
I really liked his sign off. Liked his sign off. Good. Was it? What did he say? As you were. Yeah, I like that. He was like, and he starts and he looks at her and goes, as you were. I was like, I don't know. That was kind of cool.
All right, so let's talk. All right, we'll go over. All right, so, I don't know about you, but the crowd was kind of like not really into the show overall, because like they were really quiet for some of these matches. Like even Gunther versus Jay, it's like they were all for the entrance, but because like I felt bad for Lyra and Io because their match was really good, but the crowd it took a while for the crowd to get into it. And I was surprised Lyra went over. Honestly, it's like I'm impressed. It's like I like her. But yeah, they just need to be careful, because they really need to let her have more promo time and develop more of a character and personality a little bit more. Because Tiffany's got that hands down. That's why she's so over. Because like it's clear who Tiffany is as a character and her personality, and people dig it. It's like, but it made sense. It's like obviously they think very highly and they want to push her. I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't like thought it was like a shock that it didn't happen. I thought it could happen, but I was kind of like, oh, okay, all right, we're gonna do it. Okay. So her going all the way in the finals, that's a big deal. So it's like the fact that she's getting this kind of push already shows you why she was drafted. It's like they think that highly of her. She's already going to be in the Queen of the Ring finals against either Nia Jax or Bianca. So happy for her. Just make sure you do the booking right. It's like the stuff with Becky is fine. She's rooting for encouraging her. That's all cool and everything. Definitely set up something for her between her and Liv later, because with Liv punching her in the face, so that could work. That could be a post thing where Liv and Lyra have a little feud going. So that set up some things for later. No, it's like we were talking about that earlier. Yeah, it's like I said, it's clear Nia Jax is going into the finals.
Once Triple H said that the winner of the King and Queen of the Ring is getting a title shot of their whoever on their brand is the champion, it was kind of shown like, oh, okay, so they're gonna go with Gunther and they're gonna go with Nia. It's kind of set there with what they're gonna do. That being said, can't wait to see Randy Orton and Gunther go at it.
No, Randy Orton. I want Randy Orton versus Gunther, because that could be a sleeper classic.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Gunther, it's Randy Orton. Yeah. How does that not work out?
Exactly. Especially how Gunther's going to try to avoid the RKO. Like, so happy for Lyra. Just can work on her. And plus, if they book it right, it could help her again, because if she's going against Nia, she's not going to win, but she puts in a good showing, tries to put in a good effort, and the fans can keep behind that. That definitely helps her out.
We brought that up too.
Yeah, that's the other possibility. It could go either way. I could see Gunther or Randy going over. I mean, it's like you could easily do Randy versus Cody at SummerSlam.
Right, but Gunther versus whoever, I don't care. But Gunther's winning the strap a lot quicker than what you think he's gonna.
Yeah, or it's like if he doesn't win King of the Ring, I could see him winning Money in the Bank.
Basically, what they're doing right now.
Because eventually, it's only a matter of time before Gunther gets his world title shot.
Right.
He's going to have that title around his waist at some point. It's just a matter of just when.
Because what's going to happen is CM Punk's going to screw over Drew, and Damian Priest is still going to be champion, and then it's going to be Drew and CM Punk at SummerSlam. As like I said, like it's a matter of just when. It could be this year, or it could be next year at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. It's like eventually he's going to be a world champion. It's like there's no doubt about it. Yeah, and I think really right now, and it kind of sounds boring, but the way they're kind of booking it, they're setting up because Liv and Finn were shown getting out of the same SUV.
Yeah, no, back. She's not just going after Dom, man. She's going through Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah. So it's kind of like splitting up of like,
Rhea's gonna be like, what
the hell?
So pissed.
Yeah, and that's gonna be like a blood feud for like the Battle of Dom's heart and crap like that. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but I'm just saying that like it's gonna get to the point where it's gonna be kind of the Edge versus the whole Judgment Day thing with Damian. Yeah, that's kind of what they're going with it. By
the way, I know GIF was predicting Jay versus Tabatog in the finals. Didn't happen. It could have happened. It's not a bad prediction. GIF, shout out to you. But I felt it could happen, but I didn't think the odds of it happening. No. It's like I just didn't see Gunther losing to Jay right now, and that turned out to be fact. So,
all right. So I'm gonna ruin Io Sky's entrance because you're coming down with me because the internet ruined it for me. Someone did like Io's movements, and it was like after you coming out of your room after you just chugged a bottle of vodka, and just watch it again.
It's a very the way she moves around is very. It's like you could think maybe she's drunk. It's like
someone pointed that out, did the motion. I was like, oh no, I'm bringing Justin down the show. I'm bringing him down with me. So now you can never unsee it. You can never unsee it when she does her entrance. I dig her entrance. It goes well with the music. Everything's really well. I like how she's doing the Japanese promos. I just like the way they're doing. They're booking Io.
No,
even though she's not going over. They're booking her really well.
That the way they shot that promo with her underwater and it was all in Japanese against Lyra before their match, great stuff. That's why I love you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Jason. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it.
Good night. And then Awesome Truth. is that shtick ever going to get old? Because I laugh every time. I laugh every time.
No, our truth is a gift, man, and it's like he just finds new humorous things to do, like the whole Andre the Giant thing. It's like under other people that could have just fallen flat on its face, but our truth made it work.
And then he's like, and then Miz was like pointing, he's like, hi. He just does. I don't know. It just works. And that whole thing. And yeah, that match was fine. I don't know who's going to beat R-Truth and Miz, because I think they're just, R-Truth is so over, and you don't want, because once they end their title run, other than just Truth just doing random jokey stuff, it's better to put him in the forefront because he sells T-shirts, and I'm pretty sure that Awesome Truth shirt is selling because that's actually a pretty cool shirt.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to have a long run, but it's fun while it's lasted.
No. And
there's so many good teams on Raw. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay.
Teams. It's been rumored for a long time that Chad Gable was going to ditch the current version of Alpha Academy and align with the Creed Brothers. Creed Brothers are going to turn heel, and we're going to have basically Team Angle
2.0.
2.0.
Yeah. And it's looking like
that. They're literally chaining "You Suck" to his music, Kurt Angle style, this week after he beat Sammy. Now, here's the thing. Normally, I would be upset that not only did they wrestle before the pay-per-view, but that Chad won. But it was under shenanigan purposes, and it froze the storyline because Otis is torn. Okay, Otis knows that this is not right. It's like he doesn't want to be a bad guy, but Chad has been his friend and his mentor, and he doesn't want to turn on him.
Right.
Despite the fact he's treating him like garbage right now.
Right.
And I love that Sammy's like, I know I've been in the exact same position before, aka the bloodline.
Mm-hmm. At
some point, Otis is not going to turn. I know some people thinking that Otis was going to turn heel. No. As soon as I saw Chad being all friendly, chatty with Creed Bros, I was like, oh, okay, rumors are true. Yep. Creeds are going to turn.
Well, as far as subtle storytelling,
and it's subtle.
Well, no. Here's this. I'm bringing this up because I think I remember it correctly. Remember that random promo that he did when he was getting ready for his match when no one was there? It was really cool, little back. Wasn't that the Creed brothers that he was training with?
Yep.
I mean, if
they've been very friendly with Alpha Academy up to this point, so it's
So he was just laying the seeds.
Irene Al's the only one who's got a problem because she sees the way Chad's treating Maxine, and she's become friends with Maxine, and she don't like that shit. Which I'm glad she's calling out.
Yeah.
It's like,
because
eventually, Otis, Tozawa, and Maxine are going to stay babyfaces. They're going to divorce themselves from Chad, and he's going to form a new version of Alpha Academy with the Creed brothers.
Right. And it's just so easy to you just can't not love Otis. It's just, there's something about him that the crowd gets behind him so well.
If you really want those three to get over as a new stable of trio, have Chad win the Intercontinental title, and then Creed turn heel, take the titles off of Awesome Truth. Boom.
Yeah.
The power brothers, the mid card power faction.
Now that DIY is off of Raw,
I want Now that DIY is on SmackDown, so my dream scenario is that eventually DIY wins the world the WWE tag team titles on SmackDown, and the Creed brothers win the tag titles on Raw, and it's all is good.
Yeah, and then eventually the dark-haired Creed brother will.
And eventually, I want New Catch Republic to have maybe a run as well.
They'll get a run. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't. They're great in the ring, and the crowd still responds to them.
Oh my God, them versus Creed brothers, just give that to me, man. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for New Catch Republic versus Creed brothers
for sure.
That's gonna bang.
But I think that's pretty much it. I mean, Karrion Kross showed up and talked crap to Woods because wanted to stay relevant.
This obviously is leading to. It looks like they're setting up a feud between New Day and Final Testament.
Yeah,
with what he's been doing with Kofi and Xavier recently.
He still brings up. He still can't get a hold
of. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, but the other thing I noticed is that they're setting up Kaiser's first major singles feud. He's been bad-mouthing Sheamus ever since he lost to Gunther. So eventually Sheamus is going to come calling.
Right. Yeah. That's going to be fun.
You were going to say
no. I forgot about that. So thank you for that. But no, I was saying with the Karrion Kross, he still likes his clocks, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
TikTok. He didn't do the TikTok, but he basically was like, something about time. I was like,
it's all about time.
Karrion, it's all about time. You just love clocks. You're like the opposite Hook. You love clocks. Yep, that's a Peter Pan reference on this show. I don't care. All right, so let's move on to AEW.
All right, here's a recap what happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. About Dynamite before the Double or Nothing pay-per-view on Sunday. Loaded show. We kicked off with Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay teaming up against Roderick Strong and Trent Beretta, their opponents at the pay-per-view. Good action here. Wardlow came out and attacked Will Ospreay from behind while he was outside the ring, and that allowed the heels to double team Orange, and Roderick Strong finished him off with End of Heartache for the heels to pick up the victory. Ospreay was then beat down by the Undisputed Kingdom and busted open and left laying in a pool of his own blood. The Young Bucks were seen talking to security, handing out a flyer saying that Darby Allin was banned from the building tonight by their order to prevent him from helping out Bryan Danielson in his match against Satnam Singh in the main event. Satnam Singh came up and congratulated the Bucks on what was going on, said it was good to do business as long as they get paid. The Big Man Gang came out, cut a promo, running down Pac and their beef the last couple weeks. Pac appeared on the Tron to rebuttal, saying they've warmed him up a bit and he's not mad because he did provoke them after all. But 3-on-1 isn't a fair fight, so he wanted to introduce Bang Gang Gang to his buddies, Penta and Rey Fenix. Yes, Death Triangle is back, all healthy for once. And Death Triangle and the Bang Bang Gang got into a big brawl. Pac on the mic and challenged them to a trios title match at Double or Nothing. Then we had no more contender match for Chris Jericho's for the world title FTW Championship. Brian Keith, the Bounty Hunter versus Hook versus Katsuya Shibata. Brian Keith got locked in a figure 4 leg lock from Shibata and Rudder at the same time and tapped out. So the referee declared Hook and Shibata the winners. So it'll be a triple threat match against Chris Jericho at the pay-per-view. Then we had Konosuke Takeshita taking on Matt Sydal. Takeshita picked up the victory. John's Moxley music's hit, and he came out and confronted Takeshita and laid him out with Timekeeper's Might. Said he'll see him at Double or Nothing. Young Bucks and Swerve Strickland had words in the Gorilla before he went out for his match against Nick Wayne. Good match between Nick Wayne and Swerve, as you expect from the Defy guys. Swerve picked up the victory with a house call. Post-match, Kill Switch showed up and attacked him from behind as Christian Cage and Mother Wayne came out to ringside. Eventually, Swerve got the better of them, and Christian ran away like a coward. He tried to hijack someone's car in the parking lot, but got blocked by another car, which was driven by Prince Nana, making his return after getting laid out by the Patriarchy a few weeks ago. That allowed Swerve to get his hands on Christian, bounced him off the door, beating him down, and then he DDT'd Christian on the roof of the car. And Prince Nana came in with a chair. And because he was able to get his boots up to block the chair shot and then finally escape. Then we had Kyle O'Reilly taking on Malachi Black. Malachi Black picked up a black mass. After the match, all of a sudden the lights went out, and all of a sudden Malachi Black found himself drenched in blood. And Adam Cole appeared on the Tron with a smile saying, "Hey, Malachi, be careful what you wish for. I'll see you at the pay-per-view." Nice to see Adam pulling out the Brood mind games on Malachi Black. Very nice. Then we had a tag team match for the women. Mariah May and Tony Storm taking on the Outcasts, Harley Cameron and Saraya. Mariah and Tony picked up the victory. Saraya Deeb came out and attacked them after the match with a steel chair, laid out Luther and May, and then put the chair on top of Tony and first she laid her out with the shoe, ironically, then put her in a half crab while sitting on top of her with a steel chair. Tony tapping out, screaming like crazy as referees and people tried to get Serena Deeb to stop. The Bang 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 cut her promo in response to Death Triangle's challenge and accepted it, and they'll put the titles on the line against Death Triangle at the pay-per-view. Then we got to our main event, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson taking on Satnam Singh of Team Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Sonjay Dutt all got involved, attacking Danielson at ringside. Eventually, they attacked him in the ring as well, and finally, the ref called for a disqualification win for the Dragon. The Young Bucks came out, and they all tried to hurt Bryan, but he kept fighting back. The heels kept trying to beat him down. They went for an EVP trigger, but he was able to duck and keep fighting back. Okada came out to try to learn the lines along with Jack Perry. And just when it looked like Danielson was in deep trouble, all of a sudden they cut to the back and showed Darby Allin arriving in a vehicle driven by Tony Khan himself, armed with a flamethrower, gave a fist bump to Tony, went inside, and chased off the heels with the flamethrower, allowing Bryan Danielson to put Matt Jackson through throw him off the stage through a table as the two babyfaces stood tall against the Elite to close out the show. Quite a crazy ending for this week's episode of AEW Dynamite as we head into Double or Nothing.
Took 84 years, but Jeff Jarrett was finally in the main event of a major program, guys. Finally got it. He was there. He did. The freaking I actually, with AEW, I like the fact, and this could be like trying to overthink booking, like overbook it.
Yeah.
But I really like how they're doing that. There's basically three different people, three different entities that are in charge of booking, like who's actually running the place. Because it's Tony, then there's Kenny, and then there's the Young Bucks. And like how the Young Bucks were basically like, Darby's not allowed here. You can't come in here, blah, blah, blah. And then Tony pulls up because he also has the authority. So he can actually let him in the building.
Well, he has the final authority. So
I'm saying, though, but still,
the Bucks.
But still, you have those. Like there's three authority figures basically.
Yeah.
But even though Tony's hurt and not really, but and then Kenny's definitely going through health issues.
Oh, speaking of Kenny, while the video was playing, I was checking Twitter. SRS said that according to their sources, Kenny underwent the diverticulitis surgery last week, and he's in recovery. So, be a recovery, dude. We want you back in the ring as soon as possible.
Yes. Do what you got to do. Glad the surgery didn't have to do what it could lead to. Yeah, but it's still. But yeah, well, quick recovery, safe and quick healthy recovery for you, man.
Yep.
Honestly, we don't like 50-50 booking on this show, but if they would give us Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay versus Roderick Strong and Trent again, I'd take that in a heartbeat. That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah. It was smart. It's like, Ospreay, of course, not going to take the pin. So no, Wardlow taking him out and then they beating Orange. Made perfect sense. Mm-hmm. It builds heat for both of those matches at the pay-per-view, and then they beat the crap out of Ospreay and leave him laying in a pool of his own blood. So as if you had, if anybody out there doubted the possibility that Will Ospreay is going to beat Roddy at the front of the pay-per-view, it's like there's no doubt about it now. It's aka there was, it's like it was never going to happen. It's like Ospreay's winning this title.
Speaking of blood, there was a lot.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent on it. I think Malachi sold it very well.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for because I love the whole. I have a soft spot for the Brood back in the Attitude Era. So
the bloodbath stuff is definitely that because that callback was definitely cool in that regard. But then I was like, "There's more show, guys. You got to clear that shit."
No, I loved how Adam was like, "Hey, you want to decide to be Malachi? Careful what you wish for."
No, I'm liking this build a lot. Like these two work really well together.
It's like I always loved it when he does a little Brood callbacks, and he said recently, I think when he was talking to, was it Chris Van Fleet or somebody? He said that he wanted when he did the Brood entrance last year, he really wanted Gangrel to be there, but WWE said no. He was just like, ah.
Yeah, well, AEW does weird things, so who knows?
And Gangrel has appeared on AEW before.
He has shown up. My buddy doesn't. This one guy doesn't watch. Like I listen to him on the radio. He's a big sports guy. He doesn't watch wrestling really ever, but he always just loved Gangrel when he was growing up. And then his like co-host was like into AEW, and he was telling him about Orange Cassidy. So he's just like, "Is Orange Cassidy wrestling?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, then I might watch it." So now, if you have Gangrel and Orange Cassidy on the same show, his head might explode. You know, type of thing. With that, but no, and honestly, do you like that they went straight to just the Bang Bang Gang name?
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you noticed that they've completely dropped the Bullet Club Gold and they're just calling them the Bang Bang Gang now.
I didn't really care for the Bullet Club Gold thing.
Yeah, I don't think and also I bet it was probably, I don't know if New Japan had to say probably like maybe New Japan had to say, and they're kind of like, you know, let's. I mean, it's like you don't really need to call them Bullet because it's like the Bang Bang Gang works. It's right. Like, and they've used that phrase a lot, even when they were still calling themselves Bullet. They were calling themselves.
They said the Bang Bang Gang more than they said Bullet Club.
Yeah,
you know, so that doesn't bother me. And Death Triangle versus them is going to be fun, dude. You did good, Tony. You did good.
Yeah, no, it's nice seeing all members of Death Triangle all healthy at the same time. So them versus the Bang Bang Gang at the pay-per-view, that should be a hell of a match. So yeah.
Also, shout out to Penta, which I'm pretty sure he does this a lot, but it was on.
That's the thing that was built up to, because it's like over the last couple weeks, it's like Pac has been running afoul of Jay White and the Guns. It's like I was like okay, then he's probably Penta and Phoenix are probably going to be coming back soon to reform Death Triangle to go after the Bang Bang Gang, and boom, there it was.
Yeah, Death Triangle, just because all three of their styles are so just F it, Darby Allin style.
That's why I always like the name. I always thought the name fit though.
Yeah, because they're literally like
just nuts.
Yeah, but also like I was saying, shout out to Penta. There was a video of him visiting a sick kid and gave him one of his masks. And plus his daughter is training to be a wrestler, just like Sting's kid.
I was about to say, word is that one of Steve's sons, the one who was dressed up as NWO Wolfpack Sting for his final match at Revolution, is apparently trained a wrestler. He looked good.
Let's say that Stinger Splash was crisp.
Yeah, no, he did the Stinger Splash really good. That's what a lot of people are like. Man, maybe Sting's sons could do well in wrestling.
He did play collegiate football at UK, so it's not like he's not an athlete.
Yeah,
you know, on that. So, but yeah, no, that's interesting seeing that. Yeah, but shout out to that. Just reminded me of what Penta was doing. And that I remember seeing his daughter kind of in the whole Penta garb, and she's training. I don't know how old she is though. Let's see. That the mid card. As Westfield Talk says, the mid-card vortex that is Chris Jericho.
Oh God,
Hook's buying time before he goes to WWE at this point. I'm sold on that.
It feels like it. It's the same. I have the same feeling about him that I have Ricky Starks selling back time. He's like, it doesn't feel like he's gonna.
No,
I mean, this whole Jericho feud has just been. It's not hooking me. It's like I just don't care.
Speaking about, I'm going to kind of preview how my thoughts are on NXT with this thing. NXT, this is how you build a feud after your main babyface becomes champion. You book them with one of the best heels in the game, because right now, this is really fun.
No, this Swerve Christian feud has been built up really well. I liked what happened this week, especially with Prince Nana coming back to help him try to hurt Christian, and he still escaped. So, No, it's gonna be a good match.
This was the perfect booking decision on who the Swerve's next big heel opponent would be.
Yeah,
program would be Christian, because dude still just is so good.
He's still so good as a heel right now.
It's so good, and I liked how they still and a little. Now I don't know if this little tease has worked, but like Swerve was sitting in the EVP's chair.
Yep.
So, he's starting to poke the bears that are the EVPs.
Well, and plus they sicked Christian on him because they want to take the title off of him. So
right.
Eventually, I will not be surprised if Swerve is on Team AEW for Blood Guts.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Young Bucks engineered this whole thing. They put Christian into the title shot, even though it made no sense for it. He hasn't done anything to earn it. It was very clear. It's like, oh, they're just being who they are as the evil EVPs. So,
yeah. But yeah, this is how you book your best babyface champion to finally reach the top of the mountain. Next feud.
Also, speaking of babyface concerns, okay. It seems like they finally realized that trying to make Serena Deeb the babyface in this feud with Tony was a mistake because she went full heel this week.
Yeah.
With that beatdown.
Yeah.
Because that promo in Canada, that was death. That it's like the crowd just did not give it F. So
no.
And plus Tony's really over right now. The timeless character is really over the fans. They're cheering her like she's a babyface, even though she's still technically a heel. She's so popular right now. They want to cheer her.
She's so.
It's like what happened with LA Knight. Even before LA Knight turned full babyface, they were like, the fans were like loving LA Knight. It's like
and he didn't change his character because he didn't have to. It's kind of the same thing with Stone Cold. He didn't have to change it.
Tony doesn't need to change the character. Just book her like she's a babyface.
Yeah, just book her like she's a babyface and still have the same, up nose up in the air, doesn't care.
Because her and Mariah May were taking on Saraya and her lackey there, who are clearly heels, and they were treated like the babyfaces the entire match.
Yeah.
And then Serena Deeb comes out to attack, and it's very heelish. It's like takes out her entourage, hits her with the shoe, traps her in the chair to do the submission, and the referees can't get her to let go. It's like it was full heel, even though she was supposed to be the babyface when this feud started. So it's very clear that they realize that no, the fans don't give a shit about Serena as a babyface. So it's like,
it's gonna be a great match though.
It's gonna be a good match, but
Serena's really good in the ring, but she's terrible on her mic.
The feud has not been great, so the match will be fine.
Well, I mean, you know how AEW does their pay-per-views?
They need to find a good heel challenger for Tony after this. Really,
they really do. But dude, as much as I was like, what he's got a flamethrower, but then that ending shot, I was like, all right, I'm cool.
Okay. We love Bryan Danielson. We've talked about this. We both love Bryan Danielson to death. He's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, if not of this generation period. Even he cannot work miracles all the time because it's like he was in there against Satnam Singh, and Satnam Singh sucks, and the match sucked. The only thing that was important was that it was all about
the angle,
the bounty on his head, and the Elite trying to take him out before the pay-per-view, and Darby showing up to make the save with the flamethrower. Now, Darby with the flamethrower, okay, that's really like over the top, but it's
Darby, so you kind of buy it.
It was so over the top. It's like I'm fine with it. It's like it was stupid but fun.
It's stupid but fun, and plus that ending shot of just Darby just like I was like, all right, that was kind of cool.
Darby was obviously having fun with the flamethrower.
And speaking of, here's another thing though, is Bryan Danielson still part of the Blackpool Combat Club?
Yes,
because while he's getting beaten down, Mox was there. And he had the best promo of his life coming out and just smacking somebody.
I was going to bring that up. I'm glad you did because that was a logic part of that I had a problem with. It's like, where was Claudio and Moxley?
Right. I was just like, wait a minute. Mox was there. I know Claudio said that he had to have a problem with it. So is Claudio?
Well, man, it's like, why are you leaving him out to dry?
Right. So I didn't understand that at all.
Because I was thinking like, well, either FTR is going to make a surprise appearance or Darby's going to find a way to get in the building to help him out.
Well, Darby's definitely going to get in the way in the building to find him out because they were just hyping that thing the whole time.
Yeah, no, I felt Darby was going to show up because they were like, he is not to be let in the building. And it's like,
okay.
That's an old wrestling staple of the evil authority figure saying this babyface is not going to be allowed in the building. I mean, how many times did Vince try to pull that on Stone Cold during the Attitude Era?
That's the issue is, they weren't structured to have a Zamboni or a beer truck or a cement truck or him running over Nicholas and Jackson's car with a big wheeler. So a flamethrower. Like if you put a flamethrower up against all those four things that I just said that Stone Cold did, seems pretty right on par with it. And they're pretty badass. So that's what I would say. Is that's why you're like, it's over the top, yeah, but didn't Stone Cold drive a Zamboni to the ring? Didn't he drive a beer truck to the ring? Didn't he put a Corvette full of cement? Didn't he blow up the DX Express? Like, and we thought that was badass. So I guess a flamethrower is kind of the tip of the iceberg compared to those bookings.
Yeah.
On that. So, but yeah, and also shout out to Mox who had on it. I think that was Mox's best promo ever. Slap him across the face. You're on for Double or Nothing. Done. Like, okay. Very. I don't know. That just
this was an okay episode, Diamond. It wasn't like the best go home show. There's still some decent stuff on it, but I would say it's like, it was an alright show.
Yeah, it was in the middle. All right, let's move on to NXT.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff to talk about NXT.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of NXT as the build toward NXT Battleground in Las Vegas continues. We had a qualifying match for the North American Women's Championship ladder match. Fallon Henley taking on Thea Hale. Chase U along with Ridge Holland were at ringside to try to support her. But Fallon Henley put some shenanigans with a steel chair. Ridge took it away from her, but the ref saw it and thought he was going to use it. And Ridge Holland and all of Chase U were banned from ringside. In the end, Fallon Henley picked up the win with the Shining Wizard. And then Jessamine Nix, JC Jane's friend, attacked Thea after the bell laid her out. Axiom Nathan Frazier was chatting with the D'Angelo family back. And offered them a shot at the tag team titles later in the show. And that came up next after a Gallus promo, recapping what happened last week, attacking all the people involved in the North American Championship Contenders match. Now that Ivar's injured, Joe Coffey's taking his place. And that things are working out better than they said. They told Ivar to stay in the hospital, enjoy his stay, and that Obafemi should be watching out. So then we had Axiom Nathan Frazier defending the NXT Tag Team titles against the D'Angelo family, Stax and Luke Crucifino. Babyface picked up the victory and retained the titles. Thanks to an unintended distraction from the No Quarter Catch crew attacking Tony D'Angelo at ringside, leading to a big brawl between the two groups. After the match, the Good Brothers came out through the crowd and attacked Axiom Nathan Frazier, laid them out with Magic Killer on Frazier. Robert Stone in the back looking for new clients. Lexus King ran him down. And Ava said that she had an opponent from later in the show and wanted to talk to Robert Stone about it. Riley Osborne blamed Ridge Holland for them getting ejected and blames him for costing Thea the chance to be in the Women's North American Championship match. They bicker, and Andre Chase says that they should settle it in the ring next week. Then we had the North American Championship No More Contenders match, Joe Coffey versus Josh Briggs versus Wes Lee. A good match with Obafemi watching at the commentary desk. Interesting finish where both Joe Coffey and Wes Lee fell on top of Josh Briggs and pinned him at the same time. And the referee declared that Joe Coffey and Wes Lee are the winner. So Obafemi will be defending against both men in a triple threat match at Battleground. Then we had Brindley Reese taking on Jada Parker in another qualifying match for the Women's North American Championship ladder match at Battleground. Jada Parker picking up the victory to get her spot in the ladder match. And after weeks of promos hinting at it, this one we finally got a vignette showing Wendy Chu waking up again out of bed, showing that she's finally returning from injury from last year and is going to be back in action soon. Ava Rain was on. I was talking to someone about who will be facing Roxanne for the NXT Women's Championship, and she will announce her opponent for Battleground next week. Lexis King came out for his match, and Robert Stone came out to reveal it was Dante Chen, new talent that's been working mainly NXT Level Up. Dante Chen picked up the victory in an upset over Lexis King. Trick Williams came out to cut an interview. All of Metaphor minus Noam Dar came out with everyone but with Jakiri Jackson and Oral Mensa talking trash, blaming Trick for the attack of Noam Dar when he says he didn't do it. Lash Legends tries to speak up to defend him, saying that he wasn't responsible, but heard Metaphor teammates don't want to listen. And while this is all happening, Gallus ran out and attacked Trick from behind and laid him out. Javon Evans tried to make the save, but he got laid out as well due to the numbers game, and Gallus stood tall. Robert Stone congratulated Chen to Pack, and Ava Rain coming up as well. Then we had our main event match: Carmen Petrovic and Natalia taking on Lola Vice and Shayna Baszler in a tag team match. The Babyface picked up the victory by using teaming up to do a heart attack on Lola Vice to pick up the victory. After the match, Shayna went to help Lola Vice up, but Lola didn't appreciate that and turned on Shayna with a kick to the head, started doing her dance. Well, that was a mistake because Shayna slapped the curve Fuda clutch on her and the two women brawled. Ava came out to break them up and said that they can sell their beef at a match at Battleground, and Shayna took the mic and said that she wants it to be an underground match, and then went back to fighting Lola Vice, close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of NXT.
You go. She wasn't on the show for 2 weeks straight now. You go.
She was on the show. Just it was a pre-taped promo.
No, she wasn't on the show. I'm surprised you're not boycotting Raw, because your boy had said like 4 words.
No, speaking of potentially boycotting, this is funny. This is a funny tangent. When the video about Wendy Chu reminded me that she was taken out by Blair Davenport when she was masquerading as the parking lot attacker. But she's not going to be able to get a blow off to that because Blair Davenport's been drafted to SmackDown. But Blair Davenport has not shown up on SmackDown yet, even though she's been drafted, which kind of bothers me. And I totally forgot about that to voice that during the SmackDown portion. So, where's Blair? Triple H? Where's Blair Davenport? It's like get her on TV and do something with it.
Also, speaking about that, just now reminded me. You like that, Kiana? Hey, Adam, do you need help? No, I don't, Kiana. Thanks, Kiana, for showing up. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, it's like, look, it's great to see Tiffany and Lyra getting the pushes that they're getting, but all things equal, treat the other people that have been called up the same. Melo's getting, look at Melo and Braun are getting treated right. It's like, do the same thing for Kiana and Blair, please. They deserve better. Anyway, but yeah, no, Roxanne was on the show technically. It was just a pre-taped promo. At least she was on the show. And honestly, I really like this pre-taped promo, heel promo from her, where she's being the cocky, arrogant heel, where she's like, there's nobody who's good enough to take the title from me. Which is what you want. You want her to keep the title forever. So I thought you would have totally
loved what I want. It's what's going to happen. There's a difference.
I love you, buddy.
No, yeah, of course her backstage promo was great. Which, speaking about taped promos that were great, why in the hell? Because these are taped shows. Am I wrong?
This week's show was taped last week.
Okay. So how in the hell do you have a bumbling backstage reporter that can't get out a sentence when she's trying to interview the Good Brothers?
Right.
I think it's
because have the time to edit that.
You have the time to edit it, or because even the Good Brothers are kind of thrown off that she was like screwing up on her words and like kind of screwed them up on what they were trying to say, and they kind of saved it. They kind of pointed out that you bumbled over the words. Maybe that's why they kept it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, isn't NXT taped? Like, they can do another take. And the crowd there knows live. What they're doing.
Normally the show is live, but this episode, I think because of Saudi this week, it was pre-taped last week.
That's the one thing I was throwing off there. I was like,
because the spoilers for this episode came out like a while ago. I already knew what was going to happen before it.
Okay. Because I was just like, why was that take there? Because
So we were talking about how, like, it seemed like, LA Knight seemed to kind of like get a big focus on SmackDown and Braun on Raw. Well, this was all about Gallus on this episode.
Yeah.
Gallus is back with a vengeance because Joe Coffey is getting a title shot, is in the North American title match, and they're going after Trick Williams at the same time, setting up potential challenger for him after he's done with Noam Dar. And also Joe Coffey kind of, even though he didn't say it, kind of made it clear that he was the one that Gallus also attacked Noam Dar last week.
What's up with that finish with Wesley? Do you like that?
I was surprised it was both of them. I thought we were going to get a one-on-one between Oba and Wesley.
I think that way Wes doesn't take the pin because he just came back, but you still need him in the main event.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Plus, it's Gallus, so they're not going.
Yeah, I mean, I as soon as they attacked Trick, I knew that Joe Coffey being in the North American title match, he doesn't have a chance in hell to win the title. Mm-hmm. Gallus coming after Trick Williams, that presents him with a whole new problem because he's outnumbered when it comes to Gallus. So, I mean, the metaphor, whatever. I do love that Lash Legend keeps insisting that Trick had nothing to do with it, but she didn't want to say why. I'm like, well, I think I know why she doesn't want to say why, because her and Trick were probably getting on somewhere when that attack happened, and she doesn't want to say that because they already don't like the idea of her and Trick being an item. So
for NXT, I like for them to have other stars throughout the show.
Yeah.
Or like because that's what NXT is the next star. So you're trying to build. And the fact that Gallus was all over this show, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Or just
I think it's a good thing because I've always liked Gallus. And I'm about to say, hey, being associated with Rock definitely does things for your career.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I was like, I mean, I don't think it's going to do any storyline preferences, but I think it definitely helps you backstage on getting booked the right way because you're the one that The Rock basically said you're going to help me get ready. Yeah. And they got him ready because that was a great tag.
No, he did a whole Instagram post thanking Gallus for helping him get ready for WrestleMania, and he sent them a lot of his a bunch of alcohol from his brand that he owns.
Terramana.
Yeah. As a thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And they posted and they said, thank you, Rock. It was, they said it was great working with him and they thanked him for the gifts. So it's like, it's like they're back with a vengeance. I mean, they laid out a bunch of people last week. It's like Coffey's in the North American title match after taking Ivar's place after they injured him to write Ivar out. And they attacked Trick Williams at the same time. So it's like they're back with a vengeance. They are all over the place.
Yeah.
So
what's up with Shayna working double time, man?
I don't know. Obviously she's helping try to put Lola Vice over. Didn't expect that, but they were kind of teasing. There was little teases that things were not 100% between Lola and Shayna. So I wasn't surprised that Lola finally just turned on her after the match, but I was like, oh, well, you're about to learn. That was a big mistake. It's like, it's not a good idea to piss off Shayna Baszler.
Yeah. Rumors are that it's going to be Natty that's going to challenge Roxanne. I'm like, okay.
No,
please don't.
I'm sorry. That's
please don't.
They've already done her and Roxanne. No.
Okay, just give me Mia. Yeah, just throw that one out there. Even though she's
well, if Mia doesn't get into the,
she's going to be in the NXT North American ladder.
Because the last two qualifying matches are, let's see, Mia versus Tatum Paxley, and I forget what the other final match for the final slot is. Now, speaking of that, I thought Thea Hale was going to be in this, but then when she went up against Fallon Henley, I was like, well, only one of them. I thought they were both going to be in it, but only one of them's going to make it. I get why they went with Fallon Henley because with the heel, they're definitely trying to give her a good push with this heel turn. And plus, the whole Chase U stuff with Ridge Holland played a factor in it. And plus, she's still got Jasmine Nix coming after her as payback for breaking Jacy Jane's nose, but not intentionally. But it's like they're working in the storyline. from their match they had. So they got stuff for Thea. I was a little bummed. I was like, because I thought Thea was a good candidate to win the Women's North American Championship, but there's still a lot of prime candidates left. I'm really glad Jada Parker's in this. I
was going to say that.
Like both our buddy Gift Taylor and I are very high on Jada Parker. We think
remember when that first match that like she really like showed out, and I was like, who is Jada Parker?
So I'm glad that she's going to be in this ladder match so she gets a chance to shine. She's a I would consider her a dark horse candidate to win. I'm still feeling like Sol Roca.
It's Sol Roca.
I think they're gonna. I think it's gonna go with the Sol.
She's so. She's the one that makes me nervous. She's the one that makes me nervous.
I can't wait to see. She's probably going to find ways to duel the Soul Catcher off a ladder or two. It's like in this match. It's like it's going to be nuts.
This is her like, all right, so don't injure yourself, but
so I don't know. It's like it's weird. I don't know if they would think very highly of Tatum Paxley if she's going to go over Mia Yim next week. So it's like who's the other match? Let's see. I gotta look it up. But anyway, go. Well, I'm looking that up. Go over how you felt about certain stuff. Go for it.
So they've totally given up on Lexis King. Unless Chin is just that much of an up and comer. But it seems like they've kind of given up on what they're going to do with Lexis King. Which I mean, Lexis is good enough that they could probably figure something out with him. But I found that kind of odd. I still can't buy into the Angela family. I just cannot wrap my head around it. Plus, that spot I cannot buy where they basically like had the one guy like somehow put the other guy in the headlock and like hold the headlock so they could do the DDT on themselves. And I was like, that spot's weird.
Okay. Yeah, it's Kalani Jordan and Red Sinclair.
Okay.
Or is it Brinley Reese? Kalani Jordan's going to win that.
I'm about to say Kalani Jordan's going to win that one.
Kalani's getting it.
Yeah. But yeah, the D'Angelo family spot where like they made him like kicked him into like the headlock and the guy just like held it and was like, what's going on? And then like he like clotheslined him into a DDT. I'm like, that looked dumb.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
He didn't play it off like, I don't know what's going on. He was like, oh my God, what's going on? I'm like, no, don't do that.
I like that the feud between the family and the North Korea Catch Crew is not over yet.
That's fine.
No, I like that feud. I like where it's been fun.
Yeah. But yeah, Frazier and Axiom, they're fun. They're fun.
Yeah, it's like I'm very curious of who's Roxanne's opponent's going to be because it's like this is basically filler until because Julia's going to be the big one. When eventually Julia's going to show up, that's going to be the big. That's going to be like the big title defense for Roxanne when Julia shows up. So it's a matter of just like who are they going to throw at her in the meantime?
Throw a bear and help the bear. That's what you're going to do, right? When you see Roxanne in a fight with a bear, you're going to jump in, help the bear. That's right. I said it. I don't care.
Most of the people I would think would be thrown in there are all involved in the women's North American title ladder match, pretty much. Yeah.
And you're not going to, and honestly, it's not the right decision to throw Sol Roca. Like Sol Roca's in the right spot for her.
No,
Jada Parker's in the right spot for her. Like
she's not ready to be up in the NXT women's picture with Roxanne.
And that's why people are like saying Natalie.
Give her this women's North American Championship to help give her a good push until she's ready for that main event slot.
But that's why people are saying Natalia, and that's just like,
Wait, she already beat Natalia already,
right?
So that doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
And it would be a bad decision. It's just like it's nothing against Natty. It's just like they could find a better opponent for her.
Is there any female on like the main roster that they're going to bring down if they're going to not have Mia and Shayna's doing her thing?
Yeah, because like Mia's involved in a ladder match and Shayna's fighting Lola Vice in an underground match now.
Like Tegan Knox.
Yeah, but that would be kind of like out of nowhere. It's like
I'm just throwing out names, man. I'm throwing out names.
I like Tegan Knox.
I know. Like, yeah, she's great.
She doesn't deserve a match against the Prodigy.
No, she doesn't. The Golden Goose. Okay, I'm gonna make it a thing.
I like calling her the Prodigy.
Well, you can call her the prodigy that is AKA the Golden Goose. That's how we're gonna do it. Just make better shirts, WWE. I'm talking to you, Sean. Her shirts suck.
Oh, did you hear that Cora Jade showed up at one of the XT house shows and basically called out Roxanne?
Yeah. No, but I'm sorry, you're on the shelf.
Yep.
No, that's my asshole bias self. Now I'm like, Cora,
but I think that's a sign that she could be back pretty soon if they had her do that. So her return may not be that far away, and that will be
that's a feud.
Awesome feud.
That's a feud
because it was gonna be interesting because Cora Jade has not been babyface for quite some time. Not since she, ironically, when she turned on Roxanne when they were women's tag team champions. And turned on her.
That's that blood because they're best friends. So it's like that Sean Hunter, that DIY, that there was another one I just thought of, but I forgot. But it's like that, so good again. Like their chemistry works so well. Oh, Bailey, and it's never gonna be that level. We're never gonna get that level. I don't think. It'd be cool if we did, but the Sasha Bailey stuff where they're just
they
so
could easily
compatible.
Be Sasha Bailey level between Roxanne and Cora, no doubt.
I think it's more DIY level. Like it could be just like let's just stretch that shit out.
Yeah, no, and it makes perfect sense because of their history between each other, and she's coming off of a major injury, so the crowd's going to have some sympathy for Cora, because she just came back. She wasn't injured. They'd given her some time off. They just brought her back, and her mentor, aka father, CM Punk, also just came back, so she was all pumped about that. And then, not long after she comes back, she gets the ACL injury. So it's like, they could easily turn Cora back into a babyface against Roxanne.
Like I said,
and their history, oh my god, because Roxanne's going to be like she never got like the proper revenge against Cora for turning on her when they were NXT Tag Team Champions. And
no. And plus, like I said before, if Cora didn't get hurt, I think Roxanne's on the main roster and Lyra's still on NXT.
Oh yes, Cora was like winning match after match after match. It was clear they were building her to challenge Lyra for the NXT Championship. But when she went down with the injury, it's like they were like, okay, nope. The next best option is Roxanne. And if Cora had not gotten injured, she would be NXT champion right now. She would have beaten Lyra for the title, and Roxanne would have gotten drafted.
Yeah,
without question.
You don't go into two Royal Rumbles back to back without them probably calling you up at that point. Speaking about injury and speaking about who might challenge her, how long is Nikita on the shelf?
She got messed up her ACL.
I thought again. It was ACL. Yeah.
Yeah, because her and Cora were hanging out and showing off the braces they got on their leg right now because of their ACL injury. Yeah. So
I don't know what they're gonna do, dude. I don't know. All I know is they're gonna lose, and they're gonna.
I just hope Nikita can stay healthy because
she's got it. Nikita's got it.
She's got a presence, and the fans like her, but it's turning into it's turning into like a Dakota Kai Tegan Knox situation where like, oh man, I really hope you stay healthy long enough to get that proper push you deserve. It's like, because I was thinking, I was just like, oh, Nikita, it's like she's getting like the Dakota Kai Tegan Knox luck here in NXT, man. It's like, oh, terrible injury. She's back. Terrible injury again. She's out again. It's like,
so I don't. I'm just trying to think who would. Bias aside, I don't know who.
Oh my god! Oh, I'm so excited for Cora Jade to come back. Just thinking about this. The top of the NXT Women's Division. Roxanne. Then you throw in Julia and Cora Jade coming back at the same time. It's going to be rocking at the top of the NXT Women's Division.
Yeah, and the thing is Cora is the best all around as far as mic and in ring, but Julia is the best and Roxanne's the best of both worlds as far as like she's a better in ring and she's good enough on the mic. I'm
excited to see the matches between those three when Julia finally arrives and Cora's back from injury. Oh man,
yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be a good time. It's NXT Women's Division gonna be off the charts again. It's already really strong right now. I mean, like the mid card, the women they got lined up for the match, there's a lot of talent and potential that they got loaded in this ladder match. I mean, we're high on Sol Ruka. Fallon Henley's got good potential. Jada Parker's got some really serious potential.
Paxley.
They definitely think Paxley. They definitely think Kai Kalani Jordan as well. So it's like,
and Jada Parker, like you just said, Jada Parker begin. I'll circle back to it. But yeah, and then what they're doing with like making Paxley like they like, all right, Paxley, you kind of rolled the coattails of Lyra being that weird, Mickey James type character.
Now that Lyra's gone, they definitely got to work on the crazy heel stuff that she was exhibiting there. She's been off TV for a bit, which is a little weird. It's like they gotta give her something because they definitely were. She was featured a lot during the whole build up to between, especially during the Roxanne Lyra feud over the title. So it's like it'd be weird if they just dropped to the side now all of a sudden out of nowhere. So it's
right. And before we end the show, I know you were looking up some stuff, and I was kind of going over what else I thought. I never got your opinion on. Maybe you did, but are they giving up on Lexis King?
I don't know. We'll see. If he continues to do more jobs, I'll be concerned. It felt like today they just wanted they see something in Dante Chen and they wanted to give him a big splashy debut on the main show because he's mostly been on NXT Level Up. He's not been on the main NXT proper. So for it's like I've heard about him. People have said he's pretty talented. So it was about it felt more about giving him a chance to show his stuff to the main NXT crowd while also having Lexis King run his mouth too much and paying the price.
Yeah, but you know who else did that? Cameron Grimes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm worried. Because I do poor Cameron, and then Lexis, like he finally got they gave him a new thing. It seemed like, oh dude, you finally got it. You're there with your mentor, and you just seem like they're finally using you. And now you're back to where you were in AEW.
You're right to be concerned. I'm also a little concerned if he continues to be doing a lot more. Like if he starts losing a lot more, then I'll be really worried.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, we're right at 2 hours. I think we covered everything.
I really hope they find a good opponent for Roxanne because if it's like Natty or somebody that's I'm just gonna. Yeah. It's like then you're totally just like we're spinning our wheels until we get the opponent that we really want Roxanne to face, which is like probably they really want her to face Julia and or Cora Jade. Yeah. So it's like
yeah. I as big of a bias in how I am about Roxanne. Also, I want her to show the other crowd just how good she is and how good we know she is. And we've known that and even with Becky and Liv right now, if you're not paired with the right person, it's not going to help, especially when you're just NXT. Yeah. On that, so it just helps to have the right opponent to really boost you being that even next level person.
And I think in the long run, even though it would have been cool to see Roxanne get called up now, I think it's good that she's staying in NXT a little longer because this heel run is allowing her to really hone her mic skills and really build a good heel persona, which is going to help her on the main roster. Yep. It's like so it'll help her stand out. So I think it sucks that Cora went down injury, but I think it ended up working out in Roxanne's favor, even though she's not called up yet. Because now she's going to get to marinate even some more under HBK's tutelage before she goes to the main roster.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Justin, thank you so much. As always, it's always a fun time going with the wild world that is wrestling. Yes. It's a lot of W's in that sentence, but
this weekend is loaded, dude. We got King and Queen in the Ring on Saturday and Double or Nothing on Sunday. We're gonna have to talk about 2 pay-per-views next week. I'm
not gonna do the dad joke, but some would say it's gonna be memorable. So it's Memorial Day weekend. Whoa. Okay. Anyway,
we're gonna have a lot to talk about next week.
We're gonna have a lot to talk about. But anyway, thank you so much. And please join us next time on this next episode. But if anything, if you would like to be a part of the Ruckus, join the Ruckus, patreon.com/RuckusEV, where we, if you join the Ruckus, we will, and you want to be a part of this crazy rocket ship that is the Ruckus channel that is going up and to the moon and past that. Shout out to Bobby Burgers on that saying. I wish I came up with my own original, but it's so good, I'm going to do it. And also, if you want to have your own show, which you've seen are multiple shows with multiple personalities on here, join that patreon.com/RuckusTV. We'll help you all out and produce it and create your own show if you have a good thought. It's always good there. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz. Join us on the Discord where we talk about wrestling pretty much 24/7. Shout out to Jeremy and also Gift Taylor that always jump in there. Shout out to Jason who joined us today. Happy belated birthday. Shout out to Tushka, who also loves wrestling so much that he always comments, "What's up, Marks?" And on that, but if anything, thank you all for this long run that we've been doing, and I can't wait to keep doing it with my tag team partner in this journey, and we will see you all next time.